In the fall of October 2022, a young couple from Pittsburgh decided to drive into the heart of West Virginia with the hopes of striking it rich. Their goal was to harvest wild ginseng. It's an Appalachian root that can sell for hundreds of dollars a pound. They tell their friends they'll be back in 2 days. But 3 days later, their campfire is found still burning, and they've gone missing. There's no signs of struggle, no phone calls, nothing. And what searchers find a mile away from their camp, buried deep in the woods, turns a simple missing persons case into something far more disturbing. Jessica Monroe and Brian Keller were both 28. They lived together just outside Pittsburgh. They were struggling to keep up with their bills after Brian had been laid off. Brian's uncle used to talk about hunting wild ginseng when he was younger, the kind that grows deep in the Appalachians. It's rare and it's very valuable. A pound of dried root can sell for hundreds of dollars, sometimes more. They saw it as a way out. 2 days in the woods, maybe $1,000, easy money if you know what you're looking for. They researched trail maps, packed food, camping gear, GPS, everything that you would need for such a trip. They were cautious, careful, their family later told reporters. On October 22nd, 2022, they drove down into the Monongahela National Forest and parked near a gravel access road that hadn't been maintained in years. That was the last time, though, anyone ever saw them. 3 days later, a forest ranger doing a routine check passed their car and noticed it hadn't moved. There's no cell service in that area, so he hiked in and found their camp. Their tent was pitched. Their sleeping bags had been unrolled. Backpacks leaned against a log. There was a fire pit with hot coals and half-charred logs still giving off heat. But there was no one around. It looked like whoever had been there had just stepped away, maybe 10 minutes ago. But there were no fresh tracks leading away from the site. And it had rained the night before, meaning if they had left recently, they didn't leave on foot, or something had been maintaining the fire after they were already gone. Search and rescue was called in that afternoon. They combed the woods for 2 days. Dogs picked up a scent trail leading east, then suddenly lost it in a dry creek bed less than a mile from camp, like they just disappeared. The next morning, another team bushwhacked deeper into the section of forest about 1.5 miles from the original camp. They found what looked like an old game trail, faint, overgrown, but some had cleared brush. It looked like it had been done recently. About 200 yards in, they came to a clearing. In the center was a crude wooden structure. Not a shelter. It was more like the shape of a large arched figure made of bent saplings and rope, maybe 7 feet tall. Hung on one side were 2 personal items: Jessica's gloves and Brian's headlamp. There were also bones scattered around the base: deer, raccoon, and something smaller. One of the searchers, a seasoned hunter, backed away quickly and left, reports said. No signs of blood, no tracks, no bodies, but the clearing smelled off like rotten sulfur. About a week after the search was suspended, a wildlife biologist from the state was sent in to survey the area unofficially. She wasn't there to find the couple. She was there to figure out if something else might have scared them off: cougars, feral dogs, even illegal hunting camps. She hiked in solo to the clearing where the wooden structure had been reported. But it was gone. Every branch, every rope stripped away. But she noticed something else. All around the clearing, for about 30 feet in every direction, the ground was dead. No moss, no bugs, no undergrowth, just dry earth. And in the center was a hole. It was narrow, maybe 8 inches wide, perfectly round, like something had been drilled straight into the earth. She dropped a small rock into it. She waited, but there was no sound. She backed away and turned to leave, and that's when she noticed it. Up in a tree about 10 feet off the ground was a piece of cloth. She climbed up to check. It was a shirt, Jessica's, confirmed later by her family. It was folded neatly over a branch, and underneath it were deep scratches in the bark. 5 long vertical grooves, too high for a bear. but too deep for a raccoon. Whatever left them would have needed fingers. Jessica and Brian's disappearance was ruled accidental. Lost hikers. Nothing more. But for those who searched, the fire still burning, the weird structure, the hole that never echoed back, none of it still adds up. The trail's now overgrown. Maybe they had gotten lost, or maybe they found something, or maybe it found them. Thank you for tuning in to Urban Legend Hunter. Until we meet again.